This is the education platform for learning and growth. Learning is defined by having a clear purpose. Knowledge is the key foundation for growth. We are here to learn and gain valuable knowledge, innovative tools created for the needs of modern minds. A vibrant community uniquely designed for exploration. In education, every single detail truly matters significantly. Join us on our exciting journey together and explore. Your knowledge journey begins right here and now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Education Platform. Now, before I begin with the lessons I have for you today, I'm going to be reading to you a verse which is taken from 1 John chapter 4, verse 16 to 17. And it states that, "And so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God and God in them. This is how is love is made complete among us, so that we will have confidence on the day of judgment. In this world, we are like Jesus." The word of the Lord. Amen. Now, my first lesson that I have for you today is based on scientific theory, part 1. Scientific theory. What is scientific theory? Well, scientific theory is a very well substantial and comprehensive by building extended evidence, testing, and observation. Evolution by natural selection. Evolution by natural selection is the process of where organisms better adapt to their environment to survive and produce more offspring, like for example, different types of mammals. And here are some of the examples. The very first year for an offspring, they tend to evolve. Shown in these images that every animal evolves differently depending on their species. Now next, I'm going to be reading to you an article about Uranus, a hidden moon. Sorry to have kept you waiting. All right, now it begins. Uranus has a new hidden moon by James Webb Space Telescope reveals. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun and is mostly made of hot, dense fluids such as water, methane, and ammonia. According to NASA, recently, astronomers found a new moon traveling around the icy gas giant. The moon, known as S2025U1, is just 6 miles, or is in diameter, which is the measure of the distance straight across a circle. The diameter always passes through the center point of the circle. Because the moon is so small, it wasn't seen until the James Webb Space Telescope, also known as the JWST, was used to observe it. The telescope was launched into space in 2021. It is the most important and most powerful space telescope ever built and can see into space in a way that was not possible before. A team of scientists at the Southwest Research Institute, the SWRI in Colorado, made the discovery not too long ago using the telescope's powerful imaging tool. This discovery brought a total number of well-known moons around Uranus to 29, tiny and far away. The tiny new moon is about 35,000 miles from the center of Uranus. In comparison, Earth's moon orbits at an average distance of 238,855 miles from Earth. As 2025 UI moves around the planet on a circular path, it moves along with the other small space objects that lie inside the orbit of Uranus' largest moons. These moons include Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel, Oberon, and Titania, among others. All but 2 of the 29 moons of Uranus are named after characters from Shakespeare plays. The new tiny moon will get an official name sometime in the future. Powerful picture. The first and only space probe to visit Uranus was Voyager 2, which passed in January 1986. At that time, astronomers only knew about 5 moons orbiting Uranus. According to NASA, the James Webb Space Telescope now allows us to learn more about distant planets in our solar system. It discovered the new moon using its near-infrared camera, the NIR cam. The tool takes extremely detailed pictures of distant objects in space. It measures the light in wavelengths. To capture these images, it uses special filters. Those filters separate different parts of the light. This allows scientists to study faint moons, planets, and galaxies, while other tools on the James Webb Space Telescope spread light into full spectra. NIR cam's main job is to produce sharp images that reveal details too faint for telescopes on Earth. The camera can detect light of different wavelengths. Some of that light is visible to humans, like red light, which measures up to 0.6 microns. Other light is not visible to humans, like infrared light. The camera can detect infrared light that measures up to 5 microns. A micron measures 1/1,000,000th of a meter. Still much to learn. The discovery of the moon is exciting, and it shows that there is still much to learn about Uranus. No other planet has many small inner moons as Uranus, said Matthew Tiscardio. He is a scientist at the STI Institute in Mountain View, California, and a member of the team behind this discovery. The complex relationships between the moons of Uranus and its rings hint at a chaotic history that blurs the boundary between a ring system and a system of moons. He said, it's likely that even more complexity remains to be discovered. Scientists are excited to see what other discoveries the telescope can help lead to the next. Now, our next lesson for 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 younger audiences is about fire safety. What is fire? Well, fire needs something hot to start, like a match or a spark. But also, fire needs all three to burn. To take one away, and the fire goes out. Fuel, things that burn, such as wood, paper, cloth, and much more. For oxygen, fire breathes air just like we do. It needs oxygen to keep burning. For fire hazards at home, such as stoves and ovens, can be left unattended. Candles near curtains or paper, overloaded electric outlets, space heaters too close to things, or any other kinds of objects that might catch a fire or might incinerate. Playing with matches or lighters. It's never a good idea to play with fire. For fire hazards at schools, such as science labs, such as with chemicals and Bunsen burners, can cause fires if they are misused. In the cafeteria or in the kitchen, such as cooking equipment, can get very hot. For blocked exits, such as with backpacks or boxes blocking doors, can make it hard to escape. For electric rooms, for special rooms with lots of wires, it could cause an electric surge, or any spark can start a fire. Fire prevention tips. Never play with matches, lighters, or candles. Keep things away from heaters and stoves. Tell an adult if you see something dangerous. And lastly, learn your home escape plan. For smoke alarms, they help to save lives. For many smoke alarms, they help to make sure that you are aware of any fire that is happening at any time. For smoke alarms, they help to make sure that you are aware of what's going on around you. Every bedroom should have one, not just in houses, but also in schools, also medical facilities, laboratories, and much more. What do you do if you see a fire? The first thing you have to do for our young audience is to stay calm and don't panic. Number two, tell an adult right away. And three, never try to put out a big fire yourself. When the fire gets out of control, make sure to call 911. But also, even for small fires, always make sure you have an adult with you to help put the fire out. And number four, get out of the building quickly. And five, once you evacuate, you will be safe outside. Make an escape plan. Know two ways out. Every room should have two exits, a door and a window. Practice in the dark. Fires can happen at night. Practice finding your way out with eyes closed. Even in the darkest hour, always make sure that you are close by to any doors or windows in order for you to plan your escape. Also, crawl low under the smoke. Inhaling smoke can cause can cause us can cause yeah can cause cause coughing, and it can also lead to breathing prevention. Pick a meeting point. Always pick a meeting point outside, and to make sure that you are that you are very far away from where the fire is in order to stay safe. Always dial 911 and also give the address of where the fire is happening. For fire extinguishers, always use the pass method. Pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. For pull, pull the pin at the top. Then aim the nozzle at the base of the fire. Then squeeze the handle to spray. And lastly, sweep side to side at the base. Only adults should use fire extinguishers, but it's good to know how. And every fire extinguisher should be available at home or at school or at any other facility or company. And always make sure to put it back into its wall bracket. For fire safety equipment such as smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, sprinkler systems, fire escape ladders, fire blankets, emergency exits, all these equipment can be found at school, but some of the equipment cannot be found at home though, except for the fire extinguisher. And also, you can use emergency exits as well. And even in a science laboratory, it always has the fire safety equipment. And even in a facility, or in a restaurant, or even in a company, it always has the fire safety equipment needed. For fire drills, listen for the alarm. When you hear it, stop what you're doing immediately and go to the nearest exit. And make sure to walk and don't run. Always stay in line and go to your meeting spot. Always stay safe and stay smart. Remember what you learned today and share it with your family. Now our next lesson is about medical procedures, a comprehensive overview for medical students. What is a medical procedure? A medical procedure is a course of action intended to achieve a result in the delivery of health care, such as diagnostic, therapeutic, and surgical. For categories of medical procedures, understanding the four primary classifications, such as probodontic, diagnostic, therapeutic, and surgical. For probodontic, its physical examination techniques such as auscultation, palpation, percussion, vital signs measurement. For diagnostics such as with lab tests, biopsies, imaging, x-rays, and much more. For therapeutic, such as chemotherapy, radiation, dialysis, physical therapy, medications, and immunotherapy. For surgical, it's open surgeries, laparoscopy, robotic surgeries, arthroscopy, and emergency procedures. For diagnostic procedures such as with laboratory tests, medical imaging, endoscopic exams, cardiac, and neuro. For therapeutic procedures, it's interventions designed to treat, cure, and restore function, such as with pharmacotherapy, physical rehabilitation, infusion therapy, radiation therapy, preventive care, and palliative care. For surgical procedures, such as with open surgery, by the full view of structures and organs, also with larger incisions of direct access, the use for complex life-saving procedures, also with organ transplants, cardiac surgery, and longer recovery. For minimally invasive, such as laparoscopy, camera-guided abdominal surgery, robotic surgery, computer-assisted precisions, arthroscopy, jointed inspection and repair, faster recovery, less pain with smaller scars, and lastly, not suitable for all conditions. For patient safety and informed consent, its diagnosis and proposed treatment, but also with risks and with benefits and alternatives as going forward, but also for patients' voluntary authorization, but also for the assessment of patient capacity and the documentation in medical records, for safety protocols such as the patient identification verification, surgical site marking and timeout, allergy and medication review, whose surgical safety checklist, and lastly, the wrong side surgery prevention. For perioperative care, it's three phases, such as preoperative, intraoperative, and postoperative. For sterile technique fundamentals, such as establishing the sterile field, inspect packages, verify sterility indicators prepared in the location of use, but also to maintain boundaries, also for proper attire and hygiene, such as wearing surgical masks, head coverings, hand hygiene, gowning, and gloving procedures. For contamination response, it immediately identifies and isolates compromised items. For event-related sterility, it's based on packaging integrity and handling, not expiration. There are key takeaways, such as with medical procedures span diagnostic, therapeutic, and surgical categories. Also, for minimally invasive techniques, continue to advance. Informed consent is a process of communication, not just a signature. For perioperative care, it encompasses perioperative, interoperative, and postoperative. The phases, which is critical to outcomes. And that's the end of all the lessons that I have for you today. Now, if you have any questions, please write it down in the comments. And always, make sure to stay connected with us. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Also, you can like, comment, and share on Facebook. And you can also like our posts on Instagram. And you can also communicate us on X. Always have God by your side. And always remember, Education Platform, we are here to gain knowledge. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Welcome to a world of endless learning. Find us on YouTube and Facebook daily. Connect on Instagram and X for more. Always available